Well, Biden did promise that he and Kamala would normalize foreign relations and unite the world. And just look at what they've done to unite China and Russia. Former President Trump promises to use American leverage to turn it all around. How would they consider a Harris presidency? Just in geopolitics.
I think they'll walk all over her. I think
so?
they'll look at her. I think they'll walk all over her. She'll be so easy for them. She'll be like a play toy. They look at her and they say, we can't believe we got so lucky. They're going to walk all over her. And I don't want to say as to why, but a lot of people understand it. How do you think they'll look? President Xi of China standing together with her, representing. I don't want her to be my representative. Our country's got enough problems. They will walk all over her and her crazy administration. And remember this, Biden is killing our country. The economy is no good. The inflation is killing us. What happened in Afghanistan gave Putin a reason to go in. He said, we're weak and we're incompetent. We don't know what we're doing. That was the most embarrassing day. I was getting out also, but we were getting out with dignity and strength, that we're going to keep the big Air Force base that's 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear missiles. You know who occupies that base now? China. China took over Bagram. We were keeping Bagram. It's hard to believe how incompetent these people are.
You said in your convention speech that we are risking a potential World War III if the Democrats get into power. Obviously, back then it was Biden.
Absolutely.
How do you think that might happen, and what will you do to prevent further warfare?
So they have forced Russia and China to get together. This was not because they're natural enemies. They've always been because of land. China needs more land, and Russia's got a lot of it, okay? But they were natural enemies. They've done something that was impossible to do, and Obama started it. And then we had the Russia hoax, which made it a little more difficult, but I had a very good relationship with him. And I will tell you, he would have never attacked Ukraine. We used to talk about Ukraine was the apple of his eye, but he wouldn't have done it. I told him, you can't do it. And I told him things would happen. He would have never done it. I had a good relationship with him. He would have never done it. And now you look at what's happening. You know, that's a very tough situation for Ukraine. It's a horrible thing that's taken place. The Secretary General of NATO, Stoltenberg, I think I'm his #1 all-time fan. I mean, meaning him about me. Because he said, whether you like Trump or not, Obama came in, made a speech and left. Bush came in, made a speech and left. They all come in, make a speech and leave. Trump came in, looked at the books, and he said, you people aren't paying. I got them to pay numbers. They wouldn't even be fighting Russia right now. They wouldn't have had any money to fight. Everybody paid. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars when I came in. And they said to me, will you protect us against Russia if we don't pay? I said, no, I won't. I'm sorry. And the money poured in, and he can't believe it.
Military recruitment, it's like police recruitment in some inner city areas. It's really challenged and stressed right now. Given the fact that we still have the Ukraine war waging and perhaps other conflicts in the future, there's been talk about bringing back a possible draft. In some circles, kind of batted down by the Democrats. But what should young people watching this tonight think about that possibility? I mean, if we don't have the manpower to fight a war, they're going to have to get those recruits from somewhere.
Batted down by Republicans also. #1, you're not going to need the recruits because I know how to keep peace. Putin's not going to play with us, and President Xi's not going to play with us. You know, we have tremendous economic power. Now, eventually we won't have that because it's getting eaten alive by stupid presidents like Biden. But we have tremendous power over nations. We don't have to go to war. We can do things. Look, when I came in, everybody said we're going to war with North Korea. That Kim Jong-un, smart guy. He's a very smart guy. A lot of people hate when I say that. He's not smart. Well, he's smart. And he controls it with an iron fist. But North Korea has tremendous nuclear capability. And President Obama, when I sat with him prior to taking, the ritual, we actually sat for a long period of time, we had a very good discussion. He said the single biggest problem we have is North Korea. We may have to go to war with them. I said, have you spoken to him? Now, actually, he tried, and there was no receptivity on the other side. But I did speak to him, and it was a rough one for about a month. Remember, Little Rocket Man, the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, I got a call, we'd like to meet. And I met, and we got along great. We had no problem.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.